glamour of war, the glory of battle. This spirit has been waning ever since 1914. Waning with every new shipment of homecoming casualties. Now it is 1917, when, in the words of a German veteran, war meant only the grim and the horrible, when no one believed in anything anymore. It is not quite true. Convalescing in a German hospital, one of the 500,000 German casualties of the Somme, is a wounded private named Adolf Hitler, who believes in his own twisted vision of Germany's future, in spite of the present horror. And the military leaders of Germany still believe in the German army, in spite of its losses, in spite of the omens of disaster that can be seen behind the German lines. Hero of the German home front in 1917 is an overaged general, Paul Ludwig Hans von Hindenburg, the very image of a German papa. Iron-willed but protective, he is now entrusted with overall military command. Civil government, too, will soon bow to the growing influence of Hindenburg and his ambitious general staff. Most ambitious is Hindenburg's chief of staff, his grand strategist and alter ego, Erich von Ludendorff. The fawn is his own invention. He is really a commoner. With Hindenburg as frontman, Ludendorff will now become the most powerful individual in wartime Germany. Germany, where the lists of dead and wounded heroes keep lengthening. The only comfort, Ludendorff will later note, was in the proud thought that we were defying superior numbers and that our line was everywhere beyond our frontiers. It is small comfort to a nation grubbing for fuel to withstand a terrible winter. A people on the verge of starvation, almost everything rationed. With coal miners and farmers taken by the draft, little is being produced. With the Allied blockade tightening to a stranglehold, even less can be imported. They call this the cabbage winter. That is what millions are living on. And the worst thing a German housewife will remember is to sit freezing and starving in the dark. Electricity is shut off. There is hardly any oil. No grease or candles. Distress is muffled by patriotism, but it breeds an underground of bitter comment by Germany's artists. Portraits of everyday misery on the home front by a woman named Ketta Kollwitz, whose younger son was killed on the Western Front. Another artist, George Gross, a soldier who will be discharged with a nervous breakdown, draws bitter caricatures of life behind the German lines. Not so different from the bitter observations of the Kaiser's own son, the Crown Prince. I saw a great and menacing change in the streets of Berlin. The contented face of the middle class had vanished. They shuffled through the streets hollow-eyed, pale-faced, and clad in threadbare clothing. Side by side with them jostled the puffed-up profiteer. While air aces, U-boat captains, and generals are glorified in official propaganda, artist Otto Dix portrays the soldier as a victim. In his war, there is no glory. By official policy, by edict of the General Staff, the best of everything is requisitioned for the Army. For the misery of the home front, Ludendorff prescribes sacrifice. The Army's needs come first. Food packages for the troops. From a home front whose citizens are limited to 3 daily slices of black bread. The whole national food supply is under tight regulation, and the Army gets priority. In the occupied areas of France and Poland, German Army units are assigned to work the farms, to make sure the Army reaps the harvest. The German home front will get little of the benefit. Forced labor from the occupied countries, prisoners of war from enemy armies, are pressed into service to fill manpower needs behind the lines. But the vast prison camps are only a further drain on the staggering German economy. More mouths to feed, as Germany struggles to conform with the Geneva Convention. An escaped PW reports that, living on Red Cross food packages, he ate better than his captors. At home, the scraping of the barrel to feed the war machine, the scrap drives, the junk collections, gold rings and jewelry for the smelting ovens, the wringing out of a people already suffering terrible privations. Germany's industries, greatest in pre-war Europe, now sputtering under the strain. Materials growing short, manpower spent with fatigue and dwindling. German housefraus pressed into service in war plants. The gray, melancholy world of wartime Germany